All right. All right.
Okay, are we going to get it down of a rabbit hole of SummerSlam?
After our draft.
Okay.
So I had the privilege
I
of doing the draft topic tonight. And Majin, I got your draft topic. Your draft topic will be next week. I promise. But I wanted to do this one this
Hey,
week.
Majin, we cannot
Booty
rate the
Lander.
best maple syrups in America. I'm sorry, we just don't have the palate you do.
No, no maple syrup ranking. That'll be a good one though.
Sorry, that's mean. That's mean.
Uh,
I'm
but
not a mean person, Majin. I promise.
so tonight we each will pick 3 what ifs in AEW, and I'm not really putting too many parameters on this. One thing I will say, and I don't know, I don't think Shep can hear us, and I'm going to mute his mic because his ice machine is going crazy.
I was just getting ready to do the same
wow.
thing.
We can't say what if no pandemic happened. Can't do that because there's a lot of classic things that happened in Daly's Place era. But other than
Cody's
that,
best promos was delivered in the pandemic era.
yes. Other than that, everything's pretty much open for discussion, and it's everybody's own opinion. Name 3 things, 3 what ifs for AW. What if this would have happened, or what if this didn't happen? Whatever. So, we'll wait till Shep sits down, but I will let you go first, Paul. On this one.
All right. And I'm sure you probably know my first what if.
I got a good guess, but
Yeah. He didn't hear us. I thought maybe he had his headphones on the whole time. So he has no clue what we've been talking about.
All right, Shep. So I said this is, what ifs. So the only parameters I'm putting on it is we can't say what if the pandemic didn't happen. Because it happened. Some of AEW's best moments happened in the Daily's Place era, pandemic era. So, but other than that, everything's open for discussion. We pick 3 each. What if so-and-so happened, or what if so-and-so didn't happen? And Paul's going first, Shep second, me third.
All right. What if Cody never screwed himself out of ever winning gold in AEW?
Actually, I thought you were going to say Cody, but that wasn't the one I was thinking you were going down. So
I think it was planned from day one. I think Cody knew what he was doing. I think Cody knew if he could do this and put himself over another company, it would elevate him once his contract expired. And I think Cody had this plan all along. So from day one, Cody knew what the hell he was doing.
I think he didn't want to put the title on him because he thought that he'd get backlash from the fans. Oh, look, an EVP is getting a title right away, blah, 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 blah. And I think it backfired on him. I think he should have never. I don't have a problem with him not winning it over Jericho at Full Gear 2019. He should have never put the stipulation that he'd never challenge for it again.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That was dumb. Yes. But that was a good one. That's a good one.
Good one. Mine's not as positive. What if Brody Lee never passed, man?
Yep. Nope.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a great one.
I think Dark Order would have been more of a focus.
Yes.
I think Dark Order would have been more of a focus, and I think by now you'd see Brody Lee have World Championship gold.
100%. 100%. That dude was ready for the ride of his career.
Absolutely.
So, one of mine, it intertwines with the pandemic, but what if the show that was supposed to happen in Rochester happens? So that show was supposed to have Blood and Guts, the Elite with Cody in it versus the Inner Circle. It was going to be Brody Lee's debut in front of people and Matt Hardy's debut in front of people.
Well, that's a good one.
I mean, because Brody's run in AEW, unfortunately, his short run was great.
Right.
Matt Hardy's never got on the right foot without fans, and after the Blood and Guts thing dropped out, we never saw Cody do anything with the Elite ever again.
Exactly. I don't think you could have gotten the entrance you got from Matt Hardy with him popping into different seats, making his way down. That couldn't have happened. They would have had to have
That
found
was
a
weeks
different
later.
way. Was it?
He
I
just
thought that was his
he just
promo.
appeared. He just appeared up with nobody up there, just like this, after Vanguard 1 came into the area.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think the arena would have came unglued for him standing up there in the rafters somewhere.
Yeah. That probably would have started just like it did for us fans at home when we saw Vanguard 1.
Yes.
And realized it was indeed Vanguard 1. At first, it seemed like, oh, somebody's flying their drone in here to get some free footage of this. And then you get the cut to it and it's Vanguard 1. And it's just, you knew then if there was a huge pop at home, I think it would have been just as loud in the arena if there were people there.
Yep. So that's my first. Back to you, Paul, for your second.
We're not doing this in Snake. Okay.
Nah, that's all right.
Okay. What if Braun Breaker would have come to AEW?
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
I don't think it was, but what if?
Oh, you're just saying hypothetically.
Yeah, I pulled out a hypothetical out of because him and Wardlow could put on a hell of a match.
He reminds me a lot of Wardlow. I'm afraid he would have got lost.
Well, yeah, but it would have elevated him then when he went over to WWE even more.
Yeah.
I would almost agree with Tanner on this one. Like, I don't think he would have fit in. I don't think his style fits in. He's lucky to be where he's at. Not that I would not love to have him as an AEW fan. I don't think we could have handled him correctly. So,
Shep, number 2 for you.
Man, I just had this on the tip of my tongue, and then Paul started talking about Braun Breaker. Okay, yeah. What if AEW didn't screw up their relationship with GCW, and then all of a sudden now we have a WWE relationship with GCW?
Like you mean AEW and GCW like WWE does with TNA? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, if we go back to when Moxley dropped the GCW title to Gage because of Big Bill, and then Gage gets on the mic and just smashes AEW talking about Tony Khan this, Tony Khan that. And then we don't see any AEW guys on the GCW shows. And then all of a sudden now we're getting Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, which is GCW, and we're getting all this WWE and NXT talent.
True.
And they're promoting the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think, what my point being, what if I think Tony Khan dropped the ball, boys, and I'm not bashing on AEW here the last 30 seconds. I'm just
right. No,
I'm
right.
just saying.
I don't think AEW could elevate GCW to the level that it's going to be elevated to, like WWE can, just simply because they have more fans, they have more reach. So I think GCW working some aspect of whatever way they're working with WWE is going to be beneficial to GCW. A lot of talent, a lot of AEW's talent did come from, not a lot, but some of AEW's talent did come from GCW, continued to go back to GCW even after being in AEW. But I think them going with WWE is going to be more beneficial for him in the long run.
And I see a lot of good ones in the comments on YouTube. We'll get to those just in a second. I promise. A lot of good ones. My next one: what if CM Punk didn't jump into the crowd after he won the World Championship and break his foot? because he was out a couple months. Then when he came back, he cut that weird promo. Now that we know the backstory on Hangman, then he had him and Moxley, and then Brawl Out, a suit after that. But what if we got that Summer of Punk? Could everything been different?
We wouldn't have known about Sarah's Sweets there in Chicago or whatever it is.
Mindy's Bakery.
Mindy's Bakery.
You're correct, but that's one thing I don't think that gets talked about enough. What if he did jump in the crowd and break his foot? The Dynamite after Double or Nothing 2022.
I still think things would have gone the way they did. Just because he was injured, it didn't really change anything. I mean, the thing with him and Hanger happened while he was healthy. The thing with him and Darby or Perry happened when he was healthy.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but I don't know.
Nah. Could have been a little different, but I still think Punk's Punk. So he would have, the backstage stuff still would have happened.
I still personally think, I don't think if it does happen, it's going to happen down the road. I still think he'll go off in WWE at some time. I maybe he won't because Vince isn't there anymore, but he's acting good right now. I just think that's in his DNA. Down the road, something's going to happen.
I think it's in his contract where if he does,
sure.
I think he can be easily terminated and peace out later. You know,
and he has no other options. He would have no other options at that point.
Those guys are.
He can go
to let him happen.
He can go fucking work for NWA and Billy Corgan.
Oh, that's true. That's freaking true.
Billy hits the rope.
He
hits the ropes a little bit harder than Tyrus.
Oh, goddamn Tyrus!
Speaking of that, you know who hits the ropes harder than Tyrus? Fucking
anybody
Jelly Roll.
Anybody who's ever wrestled. Yeah. Heck of a choke slam there by Jelly.
I know we're in the middle of this draft, aren't we? But I had to bring it up.
One of the best choke slams I've seen in a while.
That is the best celebrity choke slam of all time.
Yeah, props to either. I don't remember which one it was. Waller or Theory. They got up for him. Props to them.
I think it was it Theory?
Yeah. Props to them big time. That was great.
Yeah. They and look, I'm a huge
one-handed.
One-handed.
Got up for him so much it was one-handed.
I'm a huge Jelly Roll fan. In fact, I'm flying out Wednesday morning, boys, to see him in Vegas.
Nice.
I see him in Vegas this coming Thursday.
I like MGK, so I'm really loving their new song.
Yeah, their new song. But the only thing after this whole thing happened, did you notice how Miz and R-Truth, once he did the 5-knuckle shuffle on him, like Jelly Roll had a hard time getting up. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. And them two guys got over there to make sure he could get up quickly. Like I love the aspect of they knew that they need to get this guy up quickly to continue the selling of it. Like if he stayed down just as long as Theory did, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
And he threw better chair shots than Hogan.
Dude, my blind grandma throws better chair shots than Hogan.
I know. Very true.
She's blind, deaf, and in a wheelchair, and she can throw better chair shots than Hogan.
That's the worst.
WCW Hogan.
Yeah, the worst chair shots ever.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, are we back onto this draft?
Yep. One more for each of us, Paul.
Yeah.
Go for it,
I'm gonna kind of stick with yours. What if Punk never signed with AEW?
I honestly think he still would be out of wrestling today.
Correct. 100% agree.
Yep.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have gotten scapegoat Jack Perry. He'd still be running around with Marco Stunt and Dino Douche.
Jesus.
God, what an awful thing that was.
It had its place in time, but good God, thank God they moved on.
Can you imagine it, though? He'd still be a jungle boy.
And he's like 30.
Yeah.
Props to JR. He got the ball rolling on that. So he kept calling him Jungle Boy Jack Perry. At least he started getting it rolling.
And then he started dropping the boy and just started calling him Jungle Jack Perry.
Yeah.
Or Jungle Jack.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I'm gonna hit you deep on this one, okay? We're gonna go back to 2018. What if Chris Jericho
Knew this was coming.
didn't take TK's plane to All Out and dress up as
All In.
All In. Didn't dress up as Penta and attack him. Would we still have the participation from TK today?
I do, because I think it was more the Tokyo Dome match earlier that year in January between Omega and Jericho that got the ball rolling.
Yes.
Now, if we don't have that match, I don't think AEW's a thing.
Right. All In would have been just a group of guys coming together to put on a wrestling show that sold out in under 10 minutes. That's what it would have been.
My last one, I got to think here. This is tough.
What if Brock Lesnar came to AEW? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit.
I just saw Brock not too long ago behind Tanner. That's why I did.
Yeah, it's Brock. Yeah. It's Brock and Angle behind Tanner.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, this is a tough one. There's one I want to say, but just be for comic relief, I'm not going to do it. So,
we're here for a good laugh.
You want to laugh? What if Bill Goldberg would have signed with AEW?
Fuck. I thought you wanted to laugh, not me to shake
I'm laughing.
My head in disgust.
I'm laughing.
Right as this comment came in too, Tanner.
Well, Goldberg was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast last week, and he said Tony Khan's the male version of Dixie Carter.
That's a little harsh.
I thought I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's just who he reminds me of.
Well, here's the problem. Well, here's the difference. Shad Khan has a metric ton more money than Dixie Carter's family.
Yes.
Nothing against Dixie Carter's family or Dixie Carter. Yep. You can't compare them two.
But actually, my serious one, what if Sting didn't sign with AEW for his retirement run?
Darby wouldn't be as popular as he is.
Correct. We would have missed out on a lot of good memories.
Sting would have finished his life in Japan.
You still think he would have had one more run?
If they didn't come to terms, Sting still would have made appearances in New Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, whatever it was, and had a match or two here, and he still would have made a little bit of a run. Yes. So
thank God he did, because Tony did that the right way. That might have been Tony Khan's best thing he's done in AEW, is how he handled Sting's whole last run.
I agree.
Yes.
That was pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Let's go over.
I have an honorable mention here real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
We're going to do what if. What if AEW never existed? Would you guys still be wrestling fans?
Yes.
I don't think I would be right now, because I don't think WWE would have got as hot as it is now. AEW made them, and Vince McMahon, proven he's a scumbag, made them bump their game up to another level. Competition brings the best out of everybody.
I disagree with Tanner by saying we wouldn't be wrestling fans. I agree with Tanner because I don't think we would have got the storylines in Connecticut without AEW. And the obviously the blatant slap in the face is Cody. Guys, we would not have a year-long story with Cody without AEW. There's just no.
Cody's not back in WWE without AEW.
Correct.
Even though they were trying to sign him, from New Japan, but the American Nightmare really became the American Nightmare in AEW, even though AEW fans didn't embrace it.
But there was in the long run, WWE got the last laugh because they made a documentary over it and made sure they made millions off of it.
Sure.
But yeah.
Got some from the comments here. Go ahead, Shep. Sorry.
I'm just saying we wouldn't have WWE wouldn't be as hot as it is right now without AEW.
Correct. Martin said, what if Cody didn't cut the Heavy America promo against the boxer, blank on his name, Anthony Gogo? Yeah, that was terrible. That was kind of the beginning of the end for Cody in AEW. That whole feud was just not good at all. He also said, what if Lance Archer won the inaugural TNT champion, or was the inaugural TNT champion, lost to Cody? Yeah, he would have finally had gold, which he's never had in AEW. Of course, Shep brought this one up. What if Mr. Brody Lee didn't pass away? Stephen Chambers, what if Punk wasn't in AEW? There wouldn't be no collision. That's a good point. We didn't even talk about. There would be no collision.
Mm-hmm.
Majin, what if Malachi Black was actually given support?
Oh, shit.
House of Black would be untouchable.
That's a good one. Stephen Chambers, what if AEW didn't sign the crash test dummy Darby?
Yeah. Sting wouldn't have come then.
True. Majin, what if Charlotte Flair came over with Andrade when Andrade signed?
Hey, that's a good one. I'll tell you this right now. If Charlotte Flair came over with Andrade, Charlotte Flair would have smashed, absolutely crushed the whole AEW women's roster. Not saying we don't have a good women's roster, okay?
Right.
We got some good things going with Toni Storm and Mariah May and Dina Purrazzo, and I get it. They're all great performers, but they're not Charlotte Flair. Correct. Charlotte Flair would have smoked them all. I'm a huge Charlotte Flair mark.
She's great.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this on this podcast, but unbelievable talent, unbelievable mind for the sport, and the heart she has given to this sport is next to none. So, Charlotte Flair right now to me is the GOAT in women's professional wrestling.
Stephen Chambers, what if AEW gave the AEW title to Orange Cassidy? That's still probably gonna happen one of these days down the road.
It depends on when it would have happened. If they give it to him in the future, it'll be fine. But when he was at the height of the best friends and truly the king of sloth that he was then, I mean, he's evolved. He's getting faster and faster in the ring, doing more explosive stuff. We're seeing some of that anger come out in him. But if they would have done it back then, it would have been a drop on the ball.
Majin, what if Adam Cole and Keith Lee could stay healthy? That's a good one. That's a good one.
We'd have a lot of good storylines going.
Stephen Chambers, what if AEW doesn't have the relationship with New Japan, AAA, and CMLL?
We wouldn't have gotten Forbidden Door.
Well, probably would have lost some talent, too, over the time.
Yeah, we wouldn't be where we're at today because if Tony Khan didn't have that open-minded thought process to get these companies involved and obviously play ball, and I'm guessing there's more than just creative, there's some financial gain for everybody in there. Kudos to him to have that mindset, that business mindset that the Khans have to let us be the beneficiary and watch this stuff that normally we wouldn't get.
Steffi, what if AEW never screwed over TNA? That relationship was a little weird. AEW definitely got more out of it than TNA did, in my opinion.
Yeah, and didn't old Sammy Guevara get in the middle of that shit?
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly, but he
didn't want to take the loss on Impact. They were so he didn't go to the taping. So yeah, that kind of messed things up both sides. Stephen Chambers, what if TK didn't give Omega and Bucks EVPs? I don't know if the company would have became what it did. And that was part of the agreement. Cody, Kenny, and the Bucks EVPs.
You know what, though? If you look, and I'm not harping on these guys, if you look at the first wave of talent the Bucks and Omega brought in,
yes, they knew
there's very few of them left.
Right. At the time, yeah, they had this is who we need to bring in from the indies. But, yeah, there's not a lot of them left. You're right. Because Omega especially was doing the Joshi women's stuff, the Bucks tag division. Yeah, that's kind of Tony kind of took control after that Dark Order flop in the last Dynamite episode of 2019, and we kind of stopped seeing those guys have as much influence as who was coming in on the roster, it seemed like. So.
Yeah.
But I still think losing Cody was a huge thing that AEW's never really recovered from. And even if you're not a Cody Rhodes fan, that's fine. I'm not really talking from an on-screen talent. I think it's from a backstage standpoint. I think Cody helped big time creatively with the shows. And something's been a little off ever since, even though I think AEW is cooking right now.
Yeah.
It's still maybe not what it was at one time.
And I think it also helped, when they lost Cody, they lost Arn. And those two's minds together were great things backstage.
Yeah, well, they had Arn, and they just never did anything with them. And now we saw Arn pop up on WWE TV last night, SummerSlam, for the first time since 2019, which was a pretty cool little segment they did there. So
yeah, who else showed up last night on WWE TV that used to be over? Well, yeah. DDP.
That was his last. DDP was up there in the skybox with the Steiners.
Yep.